weird when I go live through this. Okay. It says we're live, but
I don't see it on YouTube.
okay. I see it on YouTube, but it doesn't show up within. It doesn't show up here within the thing. But you know what? That's fine. We'll figure it out. Oh, okay, cool. So audio's there. It just doesn't show up on the back end of YouTube's thing here. So, oh well. That should be fine. Yo, so for anybody watching on the replay, thank you so much for being here. Godziel is back in the house. Very excited to have you here, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here after sound. And I miss you guys. I was away for about 3 weeks to a month because I was down with COVID and still recovering from the virus. So my voice isn't that great. So forgive me for that. I'll see where my voice takes me today, and I'll drop off when I have to. So yeah, glad to be here again.
Well, very, very happy to have you back. Glad to see you are doing better. And yeah, I mean, COVID is no joke. So let me know how you're feeling throughout. And if at any point you want to go get some sleep, I think we'll we'll understand. Because it's late for you now, right? It's already like 10 p.m.
Yeah, 10 p.m. Yeah, still early. Like night still young.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So let's hop into it. People I think got my thoughts on the town hall yesterday and how pumped and excited I was. But what are some of your big takeaways? And what? Well, actually, let's even back up. You can start with the town hall, but where have you been feeling? Within the game over not COVID, but how have you been feeling about Splinterlands over the past couple of weeks, and then now with the town hall yesterday?
Yep. I've been watching your videos as well as many other content creators that accompanied me through my COVID recovery. So yeah, I think lots of players kind of have a sense of maybe things are getting a bit dull, and then maybe to an extent getting a little bit boring, and then because we're in a time where the team is very focused on building new products, new game designs, new modes, and the players are just waiting for the next big thing, right, to be released by the team. So I think I understand that this frustration from players as well, like, it's painful to wait. I think Matt also says that during the town hall that he also feels the pain of waiting and always hoping that things can be done as soon as you can. But I think for something to be built well, having things thought through the whole process of building UX, UI, it takes time. And not forget that the team that they has formed is very new. They have just started working together for a month or two, so it takes time to grow. So I think during this time, like many calls it the accumulation phase, right? So I think this time is really to figure out, like, to play the game, to understand the game, to learn more and read up more on what's to come and see how we can prepare for that. And then just be patient with the game. This game is definitely not a quick rich scheme, so players just have to be patient. But sometimes there's this expectation that crypto makes you quick cash or quick bucks, but this is not a game for that. If you are here to make a quick buck, then I'm sorry, Splinterlands is not the game for you. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah. So I think this town hall comes as like a booster shot, for Splinterlands, because Matt is back and he has been away for like the past month or so. And he's the wizard. Everyone calls him the wizard for a reason, right?
Yep.
So I think the couple of things that he brought up today is pretty yesterday, maybe for some. things like the new rank reward system, how they're gonna deal with new players, as well as maybe starter cards earning no rewards, some information on land, Modern versus WoW coming in April, and sneak peek on the legendary summoner. So I think all these are like interesting upcoming news, and the team is keeping us informed and up to date with what's the progress of all these developments. And we just got to wait a bit. I think April will be a fantastic month for Splinterlands.
Yeah, well, it definitely sounds like there's a lot coming in April if both the rewards update and modern format hit during that month. So
Yeah.
I mean I agree wholeheartedly with you, and I think one of the interesting things when it comes to crypto, to what you were talking about, is like money isn't made in the bull market; it's made in the bear market. So you gotta have conviction, accumulate, or at least hold right during that time. Looks like the chat is working. So, but there's another thing that you mentioned that I thought was good to expand on a little bit, and that was how long it takes to build some of these things. And I think Matt actually gave a little bit of an insight to that. So there's two things that stuck out to me about the development process overall so far. The first being that they're building things that have never been created before. So a lot of that is just like, Aggie was even saying like research and development. It takes a little while for people to, or it takes a little while for them to be able to figure it out, test it, make sure that it works, and all that good stuff, right? The second thing too is that Matt was doing this solo and had built all these things. And one of the things that I remember hearing him say was like, it now that they're doing things in a more standardized way, it's better and it's easier and quicker to onboard people, because before it was just like, hey, Matt created this thing in his own like weird language, so can you go learn his language and then like build on that? Whereas whoever the one of the engineers that was on yesterday, I forgot, I'm not technical, but whatever programming language they were talking about yesterday, they're like, yeah, he comes in and he knows this, so it makes it a lot easier to just onboard people now that we have more like a standardized thing. So yeah, I mean, I think the bear market has made it easier for people to be very impatient with the team, but it takes a while to build
Yep.
something great. And in the meantime, you could still be doing, you could still be earning and still be collecting and accumulating all these different assets. So, well, this isn't an interview. This is a live stream. So let's go ahead and say hello to the
Yeah.
folks. We got Icy Flow in the house. Harris, what's going on? You did make it. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes, Godziel is back. He missed all of you guys. And
Hi guys.
we're just chatting town hall stuff now.
How you guys doing, Harris and Icy? You guys are always like the first and always supportive of the stream. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, well, so I'm curious now, for those in the for those watching, if you feel like sharing, I'm not trying to get you to comment for no reason, but if you feel like sharing, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, or some of your big takeaways from the town hall were, because yeah, there's a lot there that I think. I mean, there's so much to dig into, like the bots. Like maybe we can even go into like the bots for a little bit. Like the rewards update, I think is going to make life very difficult for bot owners, in the sense that bots will now have to even be more a part of the economy than after the Bronze 3 nerf.
Yeah, I feel that maybe if you call it a nerf, I think this is like maybe a paradigm shift. Like right now, Splinterlands was son of a game that you just paid $10 and you can start earning. And I think the team realized that this is not the target audience. This is not how a sustainable game is going to be built on. We can't sell the idea of paying $10 and start earning. That's a fact, because if everyone does that, then everyone is just going to put $10. So we need to move away from that to let people realize that this is a card playing game. It's a trading card game where you need to buy a deck. Basically, you need to pay to play and then to earn. And it's not just play to earn. It's really you have to pay first, because you are owning assets. You are playing. It's just like any other, tabletop trading card game, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, you need to put something into the game. So
Yeah.
getting new players would realize that, hey, if I want to play this game, I need to buy a deck. And
Mm-hmm.
there will be a rude awakening for most of the existing players who have the thought that I can just keep playing without putting any more into the game and just keep cashing out from the game. So with this change, people will start to realize what is the actual number of paying players, real
Yeah.
card players. And like for your previous video where you mentioned about how many actual players are there, and the
Mm-hmm.
number, I think Cryptomancer shared that the number of players who bought at least one pack and qualify for the airdrop is about 37,000,
Yeah.
38,000, which that's a reality check for, I think, even players and for the team to realize that the number of 400,000 active users can be bots, can be players, but that's not important. The important part is how many playing accounts or paying players are there, and the
Yeah.
number is about less than 40,000. And that number could be very small because you include players that just buy a single pack and just try their luck. So they aren't really into the game yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with this new rewards change, players who are not planning to buy into the game will naturally leave the game, right? Because they will not be getting rewards by using starter deck cards. Rewards will be reduced in bronze. So there will be, I expect a huge drop in active players, but that's fine. This also means that there is actual space for growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when people leave and then they stop taking so much of the rewards of the game, it means that there is a bigger pool and everyone gets a bigger slice of the cake now. And when new players sees that, then the new players who are willing to invest in the game will come in. And then that's the right target audience that we want to bring into Splinterlands. So it's sort of like a reset, I feel, that
Mm-hmm.
like Matt kind of hinted as well. And then with this entire reset of rank rewards and then maybe new reward cards coming in, then we will see the real actual effect after summer, maybe into fall, like what Matt
Yeah.
said. And that's where we see that are we really bringing in the right players into the ecosystem. So it's quite of a reset in terms
I,
of the game modes, as well as player base.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, where it's really more so about, not about how many players are we bringing in, but are we bringing in the right players, right? So here's the thing: if you were to just buy the spell book and play with the starter cards, that's kind of like getting into Magic the Gathering Arena or Hearthstone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you are
Mm-hmm.
essentially just, you're paying and now you can play with unlimited cards, but you're not going to earn anything. So in that sense, like, obviously the game is very limited at that level, but that's where the similarities stop, because the moment you start buying cards, which when you do in Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, you actually own those assets and can do so much with them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I'm really excited for this. So there's a lot of great comments here. So let's go ahead and catch up
Yeah,
with
sure.
some of them. So Harris is saying, did you see the white summoner photo? He's smelling +1 magic for life, which could be very
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Hello to Arkansas, to Liberty guy off the grid. Furious Chicken's in the house. I don't know, Furious Chicken sending you some kisses, Godziel. Hello, Randy. Hello, Jordan. Gia's still
What
waiting
is
for the.
so poggy? Furious Chicken. What's poggy?
I don't know. I mean, my mom is Filipino, but I still don't know. Furious Chicken, you're gonna have to let us know. Someone's waiting for, or Gia's waiting for the gold for Uriel to increase in value. It might take a little bit, but it'll get there. Carnage Titan. Ooh, what do you think of Carnage Titan? I haven't even played with Carnage Titan yet. So, and the value just popped yesterday. So, I don't even know that I'll be able to get one for gold right away.
Unfortunately, I have only 2 BCX, the minimum that I could get from the airdrops.
That was my same minimum too.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. I would say I was kind of sad because I was hoping for 3 BCX so that I could get it to level 2 straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been messing around with it at level 1. First thoughts, I would say that it's not that strong at level 1 on its
Mm-hmm.
own because it's 11 mana. So when I was playing games at like 48 mana cap, 52 mana cap, I couldn't fit him in much, even with Dragon deck.
Yeah.
Only maybe 99 mana. So I kind of rented a Daria yesterday or something.
Okay.
And I've been trying it with Daria. And it's, with that +1 melee, it helps. But it's strong at level 3. I would say when it gets to level 3, then it's a very strong second tank.
Yeah.
And I think Dragon is extremely powerful now. Like I feel that it's so underrated. I've been messing around with Dragon so much. I love it.
Yeah. That's fun.
I have all my Chaos Legion dragons at level 3, Quicks at level 3. I've rented, some other dragon cards, and it's really quite fun, especially it's very versatile at higher mana caps as well as flying rule sets. It's a lot of fun. I think it brought the fun back to Dragon. And my favorite card is like Void Dragon in Enrich rule set. I think it's gonna be a new meta breaking thing. It's just you can't hit that shit.
Wait. Void Dragon in what rule set?
Enrich rule set.
Enrage. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it gets you like 8 speed, 9 speed
That's
with
a good
flying.
point. And then
And
if you pair him with like
opponents at 1,
if you pair him with like anybody that has Swift too, that makes it even crazier. All right, so Icy Flow
opponents
says,
with
sorry, go ahead.
or like if opponent has like a 1 speed or 2 speed, it's no chance of hitting. So
Yeah.
it's quite funny.
No, I love it. And then just throw in like a healer on the back end, so any shots that do get through, you heal it. So Icy Flow saying that the new reward system was their favorite takeaway, plus the new rewards cards. I'm excited for the new rewards cards too. Here's the thing: we're all like waiting for more like game-changing metas, whether that's like the upcoming legendary summoners or Rift Watchers. But we're actually going to get a huge game-changing meta here with a bunch of these rewards cards coming in, potentially dominating at the various leagues that they'll be in. All right, Tim, what's going on? Nice to see you have another chat. Oh, okay. Yep. The new reward setup is awesome, according to Fierce Chicken. I'd assume it'll cut half in bot farm, especially in bronze. I mean, here's the thing: the more that they do with this, like, I don't mind bots because bots then start to eat up more of the collection power, and therefore they tie up cards in value, which as demand grows for this, only increases the value of the cards overall. Jordan can't wait for the anime. Man, I'm loving the lore, guys. I read the lore every week now, and I probably can't speak to anything more about it, but it's really fun. And I think there's gonna be some great things with the lore. And if they come out with like some kind of TV show or anime or even comic, that'd be really cool.
I think that's coming. I think that's like it's definitely on Airgrow's wish list to have an anime or TV animated series or some sort, because I think that's something that attracts start with kids. I think children, to get their attention. Animated series and cartoons is the first thing, is the easiest thing to get people hooked on. So I can expect, but I think it's more like a partnership with maybe a studio to come up with the series, because it's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I think they may not do it themselves, maybe just a partnership and to get something rolling. Yeah.
Well, they have that relationship with Warner Music now, and Warner is a huge mega corporation that also has like Warner Brothers Studios. So, you think down the line of where this relationship could grow if the game continues, and if they start to see some value in this, it could be something where it's just like, hey, let's work on a TV show, let's work on something, so I just love the different kind of connections that they have. So hold on, Harris has a good question here. Clarification on the 0 rewards if you only use starter cards. This is just DEC rewards for battle, right? I believe so. So, because they were saying even in Gold 3, where you cannot earn DEC rewards, you can still do your daily quests and get chests from that, and potentially like Gold Foil Legendary. So there might still be opportunities for people to bot farm cards, but I think it's going to be highly reduced, or maybe increased a little bit. Who knows? Because if there's more rewards in Bronze 3.
Yeah, but I think the bottom line is just the more starter cards you use, the less you're going to be rewarded. Yeah, I mean, the fine details will be ironed out and shared with us like much later, I think. But that's just like the bottom line that the team is going to put up front now. So, it's like a upfront let you know maybe you want to start buying your cards, preparing for that when that announced. But that's where we're gonna go in the very near future. So just a heads up from the team, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, Pogi means handsome. Sorry, guys. I'm like about a couple minutes behind on the on the chat, but everybody's swooning over you, Godziel, and your glorious return. I saw someone got a gold for Carnage Titan from 9 packs purchased. Wow, that's crazy. 86 packs of potions and no gold for legendary. Sorry, Jordan. So Icy Flow saying Chaos Agent in tank position and Titan behind works well in lower mana matches. What is that? That's a 16 mana game, or maybe even 15 mana game if you have a 3 mana summoner.
Yeah, I think Chaos Agent is very strong when there's the equalizer, when there's the same HP, and then you have like a Chaos Agent just getting misses and absorbing damage while
in gold when
the
he
damage.
gets phase is one of my favorites too. Yeah. What's up, Ezekiel? All right. So did anyone watch me smash Yoden? I was surprised. Jordan, I missed that. Splinterlands, Jerio, what's going on? I'm excited for Land as well. Ooh, I want to get your thoughts on Land because I haven't even fully dug into that. There was so much to take away. I've actually just been listening to Matt on repeat since last night because I feel like every time I listen back, there's like a 20-minute like clip halfway through the town hall where he just goes deep into all the different alpha, which is crazy. Had to chase a snake out of the garage. Ooh, Icy Flow, stay safe. But what are your thoughts on Land right now, Godziel? And remind us, do you have any plots? Are you planning to get plots?
I have one plot of land right now. I think the design of land is going to be way more complicated than any one of us would ever imagine. Especially with Matt thinking of bringing the DeFi element into land. So what I can envision is every single region produces a unique, resource, and the only way is just DeFi. Oh, I think the stream is a bit laggy today. Sorry if I get cut off.
That's okay. So you were saying the DeFi elements on Land.
Yeah. So I think we have to be patient once again because land is going to be so big that I think it's very complicated. The team will have to work in it in phases. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a year to roll out entire land or even more. So I think the first phase would just be ripping the token of the tokenized packs of land to find out what land you have, and then maybe have some trading portion to it to sort of satisfy our need to have more eye candy and more progress in the game. So I think that the team will work on that first. But for things like putting summoners to start farming on land, actual resources being issued and farmed out of it, I think it may be like end of the year at least. So I think land is going to be excited, but to be honest, I do not know what to expect as well because how fast can we farm and then translate to minting weapons or spells and all that. I think a lot of players would think that once land come out, boom, I get to have these items, I get to do this. I don't think it will be that simple. I have a feeling it's going to be a challenge to even combine all these items to get whatever weapons or spells and equipment. So it's gonna, I don't want it to be so easily obtainable as well. I want it to be a grind. I want it to be challenging such that it brings actual value to the game, where it's scarce. At the same time, it's not, you don't just spam every single game. Oh, I use this spell, I use this item. And then after a while, it isn't that fun because everyone is just spamming items. So I would like people to work for it, put in time and effort, and then have the element of trading and exchanging with fellow players to actually get what you want, and then building and minting. It's a bit of like RuneScape, back in the days. You go farming, you go more mining, you go fishing, and then the game isn't like done in a day. You have to keep grinding and grinding.
Keep grinding for it, yeah.
but that keeps you engaged with the game. It's fun, players like that. So land will be fun, but I don't know what to expect. How about you?
I mean, I loved it. So like I was saying before, I found this game through the crypto side, right? Not through the gaming side. So I came for the crypto, stayed for the game, and so anything that has some kind of DeFi elements into it is going to be huge for me. And just hearing Matt kind of geek out on name dropping all these different like DeFi projects that are like out there right now, like that was cool just to hear him, like to know that he's like in and researching and doing all these different things. That to me was really cool to hear. I like the idea. So the way that I see it, and I don't have any inside information, just got to keep clarifying that. I see land coming out in maybe its full functionality over the next 2 years, and maybe in like 6-month chunks, right? Because from now, I don't think we're going to get the first phase of land right away. I think we're going to get that after the airdrop, second half of the year. We'll just call it like October, so maybe 6 months from now. After that, I think we will get the first functionality of land maybe in 1 year from now, at which point we will start being able to mint different items, right? And combine and craft and all these things. But I don't think the gameplay is going to change yet because people won't have all the spells and items and things to use yet. And like you said, it's going to take time to grind and start building these reserves. So maybe what ends up happening is for the next 6 months, people will start building up reserves. There'll be a market where it's just like, hey, you can start collecting these spells, and people are going to start speculating on whether this spell is a good one or a bad one. And then like next October or something, it's like 18 months from now, or maybe even 24 months from now, we'll get like the update to the game that says like, okay, well now we have the phase 2 of the battle sequences. And everybody, you've had the last 6 months to either build up your inventory or to do the whole DeFi elements of like trading resources and crafting and all these different items. So now we're going to open the game up to being able to utilize all these different things. And then from there, hopefully there'll be a nice steady flow of things coming in from land, and the initial rush won't dry everybody complete of like spells and items and different things. So that's kind of how I see it. Not like I said, if it happens in less than 2 years, I'll be happy. But I'm prepared to wait another 2 years for them to really go through with the full implementation of land. And who knows, they might even do some crazier things about that. Patrick, what is going on? We have got Will of D in the house. Hello. And people chasing snakes, snakes and spiders. What's going on here? Eight-Legged Freaks. Oh, I remember that movie too. Not maybe like a cult classic. Who knows?
Yep. If you guys got any question or like us to discuss on any topic, just put them in the chat, put them in the comments, and we can just chat. It can be a two-way thing with the audience. Just chill. Yep.
I think everyone.
Maybe we can go back to the comment on the new legendary summoner. I think lots of people has their speculation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you want? What are your?
I mean, it's hard to deny. And actually, let's see if I can share my screen here. Did they share it as eye candy? They didn't drop it as eye candy, but let's see if I can pull up the actual post here. Yeah.
Post.
Sorry, my Discord seems to be loading very slowly. So I see Flows saying that they're going to sell all their assets from land for the first month or two before the price drops. It's probably a smart thing to do. Okay. It's opening ever so slowly, so give me a moment, guys.
Yep. It's a fine.
Shepard's in the house. What's going on, Zach? Free chicken. I just finished my speed strat silver deck. I once hated Sloan. I'm telling you guys, I love Sloan. Sloan is great. Sloan with what's it? Time Mage, especially in gold, is super fun.
You know, if the legendary summoner gets like a +1 magic, Time Mage is going to be so OP at level
Yes.
5. It's just
So
so strong already. But yeah, with
so's
that
so's
+1
Jin
magic,
Renova too.
yep, Adelaide Brightwing. Wow.
Adelaide
I'm
Brightwing.
scared. I'm scared of a live deck with a +1 magic, to be honest. Like, yep, it's scary. They have so much heal. There's so much like protection and synergy among the monsters, and now you give them +1 magic is you might not even get past the first tank and you're dead.
There we go. All right. So can you guys
Right.
see this? Let me scroll down a little bit. Here is the concept art. So all we know is Grandmaster Wrath or Wraith, and this is the concept art for him. And yeah, I mean it's hard. It's hard to look at that and not immediately think to yourself, this guy has like some kind of magic buff or debuff, right? Um, I think
Um.
I think some of the other things that
Yeah.
were thrown out too is like life leech, but
Yep.
yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
life leech is a very possible one. Um. Yeah. Especially with that. I don't know. Is that the necklace on his chest with the claws?
hmm
Um. It has the vibes of Life Leech, to be honest, and something like Amplify as well. But I don't. It may not be +1 magic. I feel that the team doesn't just want to have summoners that just give
Magic
you
spammers all
know
around.
yeah, or like +1 magic or range or melee. They want to move away to more of like abilities so that there's more fun in like countering rather than just bursting down with brute force and just killing everyone as fast as you can.
hmm
There's more of like abilities and counters and stuff. So um I think live summoner coming out first. I think a lot of players would hope it to be like maybe water or earth nature first, right? But I think
hmm
if the live legendary summoner coming out, it will change the meta very drastically because packs aren't selling that quickly, right? So once you have the legendary summoner, it helps with the higher mana games, and then you could see cut prices moving, as legendary summoners get released. So I think that's like meta to watch for, cut prices to
Yeah.
watch for, and stuff. I'm not saying you should speculate and buy upfront, because supply is there. Don't have to stock up in that sense if you're hoping for a quick flip. But meta is definitely going to change in rank battles with legendary summoners coming
Oh
out.
yeah. And it'll be interesting as they're coming out one at a time to see just how many people start playing life, just because that'll be the most affordable legendary summoner. But one interesting thing is people were looking at like the color schemes used here, which again, none of this is finalized. But in the map
Mm-hmm.
chat, they were talking about the color schemes here, and someone made a comment about how it looks very similar in color to the phase ability. And so life tends to be more defensive than anything. And right now,
Yep.
there's a lot of the previous life summoners have armor. So if they were to do some kind of magic defense, whether that's there's two different magic defenses, I guess, that you could do, which would be magic reflect or phase. And so I could potentially see that. The only thing with a lot of the monsters for life is they tend to be slower or on the slower side, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's just me.
Yep.
Um, so
+1
Fierce
speed
Chick.
with phase will be fun, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Or if it's like +2 with phase, like Kitty. I that Kitty at +2 is so huge.
Yep.
Mohammed, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Well, I gotta get my tips from my double yesterday. All right, catch you later, Jordan. Have to drive into town. Icy Flow's got to run too. See ya. Furious Chicken is saying force field and +1 magic, and could be life leech. That sounds way OP to me. If you're doing +1 magic and life leech, oh my gosh, there'd be so many. Oh my gosh, there'd just be so much in there. Will it? So okay, so Godzilla, you are saying that you don't think that it's going to be +1 magic. They don't just want that. Willie D is saying, do you think any of the legendary summoners will have +1 magic?
First of all, I think the summoners are going to be 8 mana. So definitely there is chances for it to be a little bit stronger than the untamed ones, like
hmm
what we have seen with the level 4 rare summoners versus the level 3, which makes sense, right? So um yeah, they could totally go back to +1 magic. But which
Splinter though?
Splinter,
Yeah.
if I would choose, I would think to not break the game, maybe fire to really not break the game. And it will bring like a lot of attention to fire, which has been neglected for quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
And there's some
maybe
good fire
fire.
monsters now too.
Yep. With Gene, yeah, it
The
could
the two
help
Jins. There's
boost.
Jin Apprentice and then the Jin Inferni.
Yep. So yeah, but live would be fun. I think live with +1 magic would be fun. I will be playing a lot of live on top of what I've been using Sloan quite a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
if they start off with a bang with a +1 magic, I think it'll be fun. And then it will set like higher expectations for all the other legendary summoners. So
Yeah.
let's see.
I mean, once they release the stats for the first, like that, like you said, that just is just gonna set the tone for the rest of them. People are just gonna get so hyped. And I agree with you. I think 8 mana sounds about right because 8 mana, 3 abilities puts them on par with Untamed Summoners, but
Mhm.
they cost 1 more mana, which ultimately could be the difference in a game, right? Having one or fewer mana.
Yep.
All right. So Muhammad is asking, what do you think is going to happen to DEC in the next month? It's hard to say. I think it's going down. I mean, I've been very clear about that. Here's the thing, though. Everybody talks about how I think Bitcoin and Ethereum tend to be like April tend to be really good months for them. And if we do get some other kind of crazy bull run, who knows? People might ape into DEC and pump the price up. So I can't really say, but I can tell you in 4 months, I think it's going back down
Yeah.
over the
I think
next.
it's important to understand the driver of the price of DEC.
Mm-hmm.
And players, when you ask like, what do you think about DEC goes up or do down? Think about the drivers, and then you will get your answer. So I think DEC, the drivers is like the SPS airdrop, which is ending. So expectation is that DEC value is going to be reduced as people stop hoarding DEC. And I think there is a apparent problem with the game right now where because of the airdrops, players are hoarding DEC and not spending DEC in the game, which is
Yeah.
not designed to be. So there is too much supply of DEC in the game than intended because of the airdrop. So DEC is meant to be spent, convert your DEC to buy packs, convert your DEC to upgrade your guild buildings and so on and so forth. But everyone is not doing that because I'm holding DEC for airdrop. So this is a problem because it's not designed to be that way. So I would say, DEC is expected to go down. And the reason why we saw DEC go up last, October, August is because there were a big influx of players within a short period of time where people are loading up credits. And, back end, you have to buy credits. Basically, you're using DEC because when you buy cards from other players, you pay in credits, but the other player gets paid in DEC. So the game actually buys up, DEC and then pays it to the other player. So
Yep.
that's the demand of DEC driving up DEC prices, and we are slowly seeing DEC going back down because that influx has ended. At the same time, DEC floating in the market has risen and has accumulated so much over time. So yeah, I think we will see DEC dropping in the very near future, and there needs to be a burn mechanism sooner or later,
Mm-hmm.
to bring the economy back to be a equilibrium in terms of total supply of DEC. I think it's just way too much, and the team knows that. So, like you shared in your previous video, right? It was supposed to be Rift Watchers, but they gave it to SPS as utility. So I think they got to figure out something else to burn all this DEC.
Yeah, I mean, right now the only thing that would burn it is our guilds, right? And I think at that point, like I would be incentivized to start really leveling up everything in my guild if the EC were to go significantly below its peg. Randy K brought up a good point here, though. Going back to the legendary summoner, he said from the artwork, I would have assumed that Sloan would be magic, and he's got a point there. So maybe we're getting a little too excited about the magic just based on the artwork here. But it's hard not to think that life would do something with magic.
Yep.
Uh,
I think Nate actually shared this before. Like all summoners may have like magic looking hands, but that is because they need to cast magic to give the monsters the abilities. So it doesn't mean that magic hands equals magic plus one. It just means giving it just means casting to give the monsters the abilities. So yeah.
it's definitely a good way to look at it. Splinterlands Zero thinks heal +1 magic. Heal would be interesting because right now I feel like that's what makes Kitty so valuable is having a like essentially unlimited tank healer, right? Somebody that's not affected by what happens in game. So I feel like if we were to get another summoner healer, that would be an interesting. That'd definitely be an interesting way to
Yeah, and it's not that
the
strong
game meta.
anymore, heal, right? Tank heal isn't that strong with affliction, as long as you don't get the
True,
cleanse.
true. Yeah, yeah.
So it's okay, I think. Yeah, it's not too
You
strong,
got a
I
point
would
there.
say.
Okay. So I was saying, what do you think Matt meant when he said he wanted a large DeFi element with land? You want to take that one?
Personally, I mean, to me, DeFi for a layman like me, it just means trading between players without a common, like without an entity or without uh like a company or system that sells you the resources. It just means that everything has to be traded and exchanged between players, and the game is not going to interfere with that. So I guess that's the DeFi meaning in land. So it just means that there needs to be a system, a marketplace for players to exchange these resources. And if you want something, you just got to buy it from another player, and then that's where the value goes back to players and not to the
Mm-hmm.
game. Not to Splinterlands.
Yeah. So one of the easier DeFi elements to maybe wrap your head around, Mohammed, that I talk about a lot here is like liquidity pools, right? So people are very excited about liquidity pools for DEC airdrop rewards. But really, the thing is like the rewards that we get from the airdrop for liquidity pools is not what makes liquidity pools great. Like liquidity
Mhm.
pools are a like the innovation there was that they were created so that there's no middleman. You could just create these pools, and as Godziel was saying, players can trade essentially directly with one another or with this automated market maker, as it's called, and the people who provide liquidity get the fees from there. So for the longest time, like TribalDex wasn't charging fees, but people would still do it because you get the airdrop rewards. But now TribalDex is also charging fees. So what'll be interesting is in the future if they have things on land where it's just like you get a certain like type of resource or maybe two different resources, you could add liquidity, and the people who want to trade one resource to another, they use the pool that you're providing liquidity to, and you get paid out in more of those resources. So that's
Yeah,
that's how I can see DeFi being used in land.
yeah, and I think players who owns the castle or the keep will probably be able to set up. Will they technically own that particular,
That
exchange for the
market, yeah.
particular, the market for the particular, resource and so forth. So
Oh, that's gonna make them so
yeah,
valuable. That's gonna make them so valuable.
yeah, for sure.
Imagine, like, I mean, you think about how much money exchanges pull in, and now in the game, there's
Mhm.
gonna be like 150, only 150 exchanges if it ends up being the castle.
Yep.
All right, so Harris is saying it's gonna be weird if the summoner skills are not magic related. I'm thinking +1 magic, divine shield, and heal. I can actually see divine shield just because that's been used in life before.
Yep.
Ezekiel saying possible immunity to counter Waka. Ooh, I do want to get your thoughts on Waka. Now that we're a couple of months out of it, has it been? Do you regret not buying one? Are you kind of happy that you didn't go for it?
Um, I don't want to be a wet blanket, but I think I think it was money saved. I wouldn't say it's gonna be a bad buy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just that money saved because my plans were, if I don't buy Waka, then I would just keep the money for like to max out maybe the legendary summoners when they come out,
Yeah.
maybe buy more land. So having that, extra cash, to think about what to buy would be better for long term. There's so much you can buy, with that time Waka is almost 2,000. You can buy almost like land 5 plots of land or even more, even packs, etc. So now that Waka has been the game for like a month or so, I think it's not that strong. I don't really see it that much in Gold 1 or Diamond 3.
Mhm.
Sometimes even if I meet it, I would just say, okay, this guy deserves to win because he spent like 2,000 on the card. Like I have no expectations, right? Just try to counter it as much as I can.
Yeah.
Play some taunt, play some clans, play some heal, and if I get lucky, and then it was a good win. But if I lose, I was just like, that guys deserve it. So yeah, it's
It's a
fun,
good way
but
to go
it's
about it.
cool. It's a
Yeah.
cool card for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I'm very happy that I didn't go for it, not because I don't think it's worth it. It's just like you said, I would rather spend the funds elsewhere since my deck isn't maxed out for even gold right on my Chaos Legion deck. So I'd rather keep putting the funds towards there, and then at that point, hopefully at some point in the future, it'll be something where the cards might be a little bit more enticing, right? And like you said, I think I felt a little bit better about it because now that I'm playing in gold, um I feel like I'm playing in gold and they like increase the mana caps a lot. So
Yep.
I feel like that really helps. Where he's good, Waka can be very good in lower mana cap games and lower leagues.
Yep. To be very honest, I'd rather buy a level 3 Dr. Blight. I think that's way more, a need
Yeah.
than Waka.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot say how many games level 3 Dr. Blight has won me at this point and is significantly cheaper. So let's see. FaZe will be a super strong in my lineup, is what Fierce Chicken is saying. Faded Glories welcome you back. Hello, Ben Holiday. What's going on? So Shepard saying Obsidian looks like she has a green glow. Also, green glow equals magic. I don't know if we can confirm that here, but it's not a bad guess. Let's see. So I posted to my blog. I think Wrath may be the Valnamore of the Life Splinter. Life is a slow team and has no speed buffs so far. Yeah, life tends to be slower, so getting some kind of meta changing for the Splinter would be interesting. So Ben is asking, would you all mind explaining the node system that was talked on? Not sure I fully get what's going on there. There's a lot with the node system. There's a lot with the node system that I mean I'm even still trying to wrap my head around it.
That's some high level protocol stuff. I don't think I'm in a position to explain it for sure. I think that's something that Matt has to explain.
If you have a specific question, Ben, I can try to answer it just because I mean I'll give it a shot. But if you're asking for an overview, the guy for you to do that is probably Yabba Matt. It's like, and I would actually recommend. So I would actually recommend going and listening to about like the 1 hour mark of the town hall. Like there's like a 20-minute segment there where Matt talks about land and then SPS and goes deep into the validator nodes. And it's good. It's like I said, I've probably listened to that 2 or 3 times now, and I'm going to listen to it a couple more and then try to speak to a little bit in a separate video. But
I think Crypto Llama is very interested in running a node so I think in future he is the guy. If you're really interested, I think he's the one diving in really deep and probably going to run a node on his own. So I think he's well versed enough to provide some info on that as well.
Yes, Crypto Llama would probably be a very good resource for that. I mean, I would say at this point, I think I'm probably going to run a node too. I was considering it before the license thing came out, just because I was like, a part of it is like the decentralization. Excuse me, the decentralization of this game is important to me, right? In the long run, that's what they're trying to do, and I want to be a part of that movement. So, running a node is something that I thought about, and it doesn't sound very technical to the point where it sounds very non-technical to the point where you just need to download a piece of software and just have it on a computer that runs 24/7. And I have several of those that I use around here, or could set one up.
Here.
Hmm?
Send one.
Send one here. I mean, the one that I use for streaming, guys. This is a refurbished laptop that I bought for $150. All right, so you don't need like the fanciest stuff.
Yeah. Does this work?
Oh yeah, like, those will definitely work. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know how intense it's gonna be, But if it's not too intense and it just requires like some kind of running, then
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, I'm thinking about it, or at least I'm open to it. So we'll see. What
But
do
I
you think
think
about?
the
Oh,
hmm,
go ahead.
I think the notes, I think like you touch on the license, I think that's something that we can sort of touch on. Like Yabamet said that the initial cost of the license would definitely seem like it's not worth the money because they haven't yet to iron out what are the transactions fees or percentage you get a card or what kind of rewards is going to be given to the nodes, the person running the nodes, right? So if the cost of the license fee, are you prepared to pay, or what kind of dollar amount are you prepared to pay for
Hmm.
a node or the license node?
Oh, you asking me? Well, I think he mentioned in his example like $1,000 in
Mhm.
SPS plus however many vouchers, right? So, am I prepared to pay for that? I mean, right now, no, but maybe in the future I would consider it. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where exactly like you said, I think initially with the rewards that will be coming from it, it may not be worth it, but it will be incentivized as the price of SPS goes up. Now, I think the
Mm.
biggest takeaway from this was this will be the first instance of SPS burning that
Yep.
has been talked about. And so I personally am of the mindset that there is not enough SPS
Mhm.
for even with a fully diluted amount of 3 billion, there will not be enough SPS for everybody to go around.
Mhm.
And the fact that they're now going to start burning SPS because people are saying, well, it's too inflationary, it's too high. I disagree with, but I mean, that just makes me want to hold on to my SPS even more at this point, because if they're gonna start burning it and they're gonna start burning it and they're gonna continue to drive value to it and drive utility to it, like that's just gonna be crazy. So
Mm.
I'm not
Yep.
saying that SpaceX is going to go to the moon, but they're putting in the systems in place to really give it a ton of, really put a lot of upward price pressure on it.
Yep.
So Patrick's thinking, what do you think about buying SPS now? But what are your thoughts on that, Godzilla?
Uh, it's hard to time SPS. I think SPS is really hard to uh time, but I think something to take note or bear in mind is that supply is ever increasing, and when there is supply increasing, it's just dilution, and dilution just means that if you have the same dollar amount of money cap in this game, then it's just going to be split by more SPS, and SPS value will just drop per unit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing it long term, meaning you're willing to buy and hold it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, then by staking it, you probably get some returns on number of SPS. You're able to join tournaments to get even more SPS. You get vouchers. You'll be rewarded for your time and for staking and believing in the game as months or years goes by. But if you're looking for a quick flip, I think 10 cents is not low enough. How
Whoa.
low is low? There is no question. There's no answer to that. It can go
Yeah.
5 cents, but it can go $1. So I would, if I were you, I wouldn't use SPS to trade or to flip. It's not the currency or the crypto to for flipping. I feel,
Hmm.
I think there are like way more. There are a lot of other altcoins or shit coins or just new protocols or randoms that you can flip and gamble. I think those are what you want to try for flipping, but I wouldn't use SPS for flipping. It's really a long term thing. It's built based on the game, so you have to believe in the game before you buy it. If you don't flip it, yeah, because you will not be able to hold it when the value drops because you just don't believe in it. So don't do it if you don't believe in the game. But if you want to participate in the game long term, buy it, slowly accumulate. You will realize that you get rewarded over time, and then that's when you think that you can add more and more and more so that you can do more things and access more rewards in the whole ecosystem. Yeah.
I'm floored by that because I think how you explained that was fantastic. Like, eh, don't trade SPS because I don't, like you said, it's not meant to be traded. I
Mhm.
think this is something that will be given long-term utility. So the the pre-sale for Chaos Legion was like this massive event that happened that didn't necessarily come out of nowhere, but still there was like the situation was very ripe for SPS to do like a 4 or 5x at that point, right? To go from essentially like 20 cents up to $1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that we can't do that again in the future, but I don't know that, they're very like upfront with what they're working on. So people who are buying SPS are probably doing it now, right? And so therefore I can see it being something that like slowly rises over time rather than being that flip that has a crazy volatility, as you were saying. And I think a lot of this will hopefully start to make itself evident after the end of the airdrop, when there won't be as much sell pressure and people slowly start accumulating it as they add more utility here and there and land and this and that, right? Vouchers and whatever. That'll slowly start to, more and more people will start to accumulate and demand will continue to go up. And it might be this slow grind to get back up to $1 or 50 cents, whatever it ends up being. But no, I think you brought up a great point.
Yep. If you want to flip, maybe try vouchers or something just for fun. I don't know.
Vouchers probably wouldn't be a bad flip. I mean, if you want to flip, buy cards. I feel like I've been able to flip a couple cards here and there, but I don't like doing it. All right. So Mohammed saying, thanks for the responses. Castles and keeps being their own exchanges would be cool. Target saying, do you think each plot of land will need a summoner? I think they did confirm that. What's up, Felix? First time here. Welcome to the stream. Dr. Blight is a one-man win. Love it.
Yes, agreed.
Stop the Waka bashing, please. All right. We're gonna stop Waka hate. Hashtag stop Waka hate.
We can retake that Waka question.
I mean, I'm not hating on Waka. Look, if I had him, I would be using him all the time. But I think what Godziel and I are both saying is the funds would just be better spent for us where we currently sit with our decks. At least for me. I don't want to speak for Waka. I mean, I don't want to speak for Godziel. Definitely not speaking for Waka. Cool. I'll do that and come back with some more well-informed questions and see you in Llama for more post info. Sounds good, Ben. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm happy to chat about it, Ben. It's just if you had a more specific question, I'm happy to dig in further. But to do like a general overview, I feel like just go listen to Matt because he covers it. He covers it quite well. So Harris is saying, I did some computations. I did not put money in the game for Waka. I used 14K SPS to buy him, and our current SPS price selling Waka at $1,500 would still give profit. All right. There's no wrong decisions here, guys. I feel like, there's just a lot of different ways to make money and interact with the game, which is great.
Maybe I'm just salty.
we're just feeling the FOMO. It's just like
we are just FOMO and salty that we didn't get one. So guys, don't take us seriously.
Man, that was what a moment though when we were on stream for that, and they went just so fast, like 43 seconds. That was crazy. So Ola is saying, hey guys, what do you think on having a feature to be able to stake SPS for each battle being played? The bigger the stake, the better the rewards for those battles won. So what happens if you lose the battle? Do you lose your SPS?
Yeah,
because this sounds like gambling.
Yeah, it sounds like gambling, and it's just borderline, rule law breaking. So I'm not sure if that's possible. Mm-hmm. But I can see like staking on players for tournaments, like major tournaments, and then I could see like maybe like a $10,000 tournament that requires like maybe 1 million SPS stake. Will need to go out and seek funding that people to stick on him for him to participate, like UA and for example DTUF, like they have to go out and like get people to stick on them, and then when the prizes gets paid out, it gets distributed based on the staking percentage of. Then I think that's possible, and not so much of gambling for that. I think it's more like supporting, like a guild pulling funds together to join competition as well. So I think so, something like that. I think that's something they're working on.
That's gonna be an interesting thing. So not that. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm anti-gambling. It's just there'll probably be a lot of regulation there, and I feel like it would bring more issues than
social issues.
Well, social issues, because then all of a sudden you'd have you have a lot of like negative press around Splinterlands where people be like, oh, like I went in and I bet 1,000 SPS on this thing or 10,000 SPS and I lost. And here's the thing, where it could also incentivize a lot of bad behavior, right? There's been a lot
Yeah.
of bots, not bots, but like developers that have come around and try to create these tools that help you see your opponent's lineup or whatever. And I
Yeah.
feel like that would only incentivize that to come out more, because now it's just like, if I know what my opponent's going to play, then I'm going to challenge him and I'm going to bet 50,000 SPS and then I'm going to crush him. I'm going to take his life savings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it can't or shouldn't be done. I don't know that the team would want to go down that route.
Yeah, because basically no one else benefit except yourself, because you're just betting on yourself, and the better player or the richer player just gets richer, right? Because you just keep betting on yourself to win, and
Yeah.
based on your win percentage, you're bound to make more. So it just, I don't think Splinterlands will go down that road. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's play to earn. So I don't know. It's not gamble to earn. There's a lot of other places you can go and do that. It's not a bad idea, Ola, but I just don't think that they're going to go for it. So I see Flo saying SPS tanked a bit during the town hall. Isn't that weird? Who knows? But it's probably because we're end of the month now, so maybe that thing was unlocked, the private investor sale. SPS volatility is too low to flip. You really just want a quick moving up and down to flip, just my opinion. Faded Glory, well, that sounds about right. And that's very much in line with Godziel's analysis. Matt mentioned he wants guilds to have utility with land. How do you think SPL could achieve that? Gladiator cards, alliances. I have no idea. Godzilla can probably speak better to this, because my guild is still very inactive.
Yeah. I think like guild buildings are now upgraded with DEC, right? And I'm very sure, or I'm pretty sure, or I hope, okay, all these are speculation. In land, there will be battle arenas for guilds to go head on, like a head on guild versus guild battle, which will be fun, right? Like, like fighting 2v2, 3v3, or something like that in guild major battles. And to participate in these tournaments, you probably need SPS staked. As a guild, maybe everyone contributes to the guild to have a stick as a guild amount, and then you can participate in all this, and then you get rewards for this. So I think it's something easy for them to implement if they really want SPS to be part of the entire guild ecosystem. And I think there's a lot to build upon for guilds. Guilds is like pretty simple right now, right? There's no layers to it. It's just submit battles, that's it. Submit battles, that's it. So there's something they can build, and I think like cohesion and the idea of bringing people together, have a sense of belonging in the guild, to work together, that will make people stay in the game. I think, I'm not sure if you guys played like Clash Royale, Clash of Clans. These games, they really bring people together as a guild to work together, fight together, contribute resources together. And I think this is what makes people hook on. You don't know who are your guild members. They can be all over the world, but you work together, have a common goal, support one another, and make friends, make even close friends online. So there's a lot of potential for guild, and SPS. I think the team is thinking about SPS all day. Trying to give utility as much as possible to SPS. So sure, could see that happening.
So all I'm saying, we need better utility, SPS utility, and staking it per battles would give it more utility. I mean, I think there's going to be upcoming utility for SPS in player staking, but I feel like SPS's main utility over time is going to be in governance, and then as a way to receive vouchers and get vouchers into the ecosystem. So it's really more so that I think we just need more voucher utility at this point. And if we were to get more voucher utility, then that would translate back into SPS. But yeah, I mean, I think you brought up some great points about the guild. Sorry, it's hard for me to speak on just because we're not even doing brawls yet, so that's something that I need to get into. Felix, what do you think about the PKM token? Godzilla, have you given any thought to that?
Yeah. So I'm from a Big Monsters
Yeah, I
guild,
know.
but to
I
be
want to
very
hear
honest, I think I've not really dive too deep into it because of COVID. Didn't really have like much time to analyze it and think about it. So what I noticed like the past week, the team, Javi and his team has been, dealing with the airdrop of the PKM tokens to, players who make big purchases on Pig Monsters, as well as your total purchase in the past, I think a year. Then personally, I got I think 450 PKM tokens airdrop to me because I think I'm a level 6 in Pig Monsters. So currently, I've really not much idea on what this token can do. But if I were to speculate and just thinking out loud, it's definitely perhaps maybe added services or utility on like the Pig Monsters website, maybe to participate in future Pig Monsters events or tournaments and such. So uh, right now there is a dollar value to the token, but it's very hard to be determined, right? And then there's also a liquidity pool for SPS and PKM tokens. So I think we just have to sit back and wait for more information and releases. I think the team of Pig Monsters team have been doing fantastic. Look at the site; it has grown and developed so much for the past 5-6 months. It's from a very basic website to now you have so much functionality. They have been pushing upgrades and UI UX design upgrades every month, and it's just getting easier and easier to use, right? And with so much more functionalities. So I'm sure they have plans installed for the token on how to use it. I'm pretty sure it will be fun. I don't think they will just release token for the fun or for the sake of it, because it takes up a lot of time and effort to do something such massive as this.
Yeah.
So yeah, sit back and relax and just wait and see what Pig Monsters has to offer, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. There's no denying the fact that Peak Monsters has added so much value to the Splinterlands ecosystem. Like, I can't imagine managing my rentals without Peak Monsters. I can't imagine. Like, there's no bid function. Like, there's just it's such an asset to the community. And like it's just like a nice side chain to the game that makes playing the game and interacting with the game that much better. Now I got to be honest with you guys. I got about 15 PKM from the airdrop and I sold it like right away. So but here's the reason why. It's not because I'm not bullish on the token. I think Godziel has a point that there's going to be a lot of utility and things coming. And I like I said, there's no denying the fact that what Peak Monsters has done is incredible, and I think they'll only continue to build on that. So having some kind of ownership, I think, would be good. But I sold it because I love it. I just don't love it more than SPS. So I just got more SPS with it. So I told you I have a problem. I'm an SPS addict, and anything that is not SPS, I very highly consider converting to SPS most of the time. But that doesn't mean that I won't hold some in the future.
Traitor.
That doesn't mean I won't. That doesn't mean I won't hold some in the future. I think it's hard to even say like where the price will go, but I've actually I in a video or somewhere I know that I said this, that even right now with PKM just launching and just in what Jarvie had been talking about and in the post, I was looking at it and I'm saying, wow, PKM already, from what we know, has technically more utility than SPS, right? So I have a lot of trust in Jarvie and the team to really deliver on that. But my 15 PKM was like 30 cents. It bought me like 3 SPS. So it's not like the end of the world. And if I don't mind, so here's the thing, I don't mind being late to PKM. Because for me, I would rather be holding the assets in SPS right now. And then if at some point in the future it becomes much more valuable to hold PKM, then I will take that loss of buying at a higher price to get back into the ecosystem. Because right now I'm not earning anything on PKM, whereas I can earn something on SPS. And I know and I believe in SPS long term. So we'll see. Our IC flow. I don't think gambling in SL would be good. It'll bring in government. Oh, that's a good point. It'll bring in government oversight. Randy K is saying, I love gambling, but I don't think it should be in SL. Harris, does PKM have utility now? I'm still holding my PKM airdrop. I mean, they talked about tournaments coming up. There'll be features specifically usable for PKM users. I just hope they don't gate anything that's currently there. Like, I'd be so disappointed if all of a sudden you can't like do certain things at a later point that you can do now, unless you have a certain
Yeah.
amount of PKM. But we'll see. Hopefully, it'll be like some even cooler features that they add on top. Same year, Harris. I added liquidity pool to earn more. There you go. On every battle won, the players win some DEC by having the ability to stake SPS per those battles. Oh, okay. So Ola's saying that's not betting. Okay, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, there's a lot of ways that staking SPS for utility could be good. I mean, people are even saying like based on the amount of SPS you have staked, maybe your ECR recharges at a faster rate. The thing is, there's so many fantastic ideas in the community, and I'd like to believe that Matt and company are listening, or at least have these in mind already. It's just maybe taking a long time to implement them, but it's a good idea. So Randy's saying I have a couple PKM. Just going to keep it for now. Rowan, what's going on? Hello. You got 75 PKM for Furious Chicken. Immediately sold my PKM for SPS as well. All right, so Ben and I were on the same page. You has more SPS. Godziel, or are you asking who has more SPS? I don't know. Godziel, are you sharing?
Sound.
My
After sound for sure. I
After
think
sound
I
for
have
sure.
like 1/10 of yours. So
Okay, fair.
not close, not anywhere close.
I think you have a better deck than I do, so it just shows where we've decided to spend our assets.
Yeah, possible.
I mean, you're playing in gold 1 and diamond. Like my cards really only, my deck only gets me into gold 3. People have just been very generous with delegations for end of season because I get a higher rating. But really, I'm gold 3. I could probably stretch into gold 2.
Yeah.
So Felix is saying they're just holding to see what it brings out. I agree with you. They're a great job. Yep, I agree. PKM is up 30% today at about 2.5 cents. Well, I'm happy I sold. No, I'm just messing. I'm not bearish on the token at all, guys. I actually think Jarvie. I don't know Jarvie personally. I've been trying to. I got in contact with him because I wanted to chat more about PKM, and so hopefully we'll find a time to have a conversation about that. But I think they are very far ahead of the curve because, one of the things with crypto that's so exciting is the tokenization of everything. And I think I talked about this in a previous video, but it's just like rewards for companies is going to be something that will probably get tokenized, right? So like airline points or miles, things like that, where now all of a sudden they will have some kind of dollar value that can be traded on a blockchain. Maybe not necessarily open, but they'll be tradable. And so at that point, like now it's, it's great for incentivizing like good performance. Cause now like, let's say you're certain airline and you want to make sure that you are like a good airline, because then like the value of your token, your miles go for higher. Right. So I don't know. It's just an interesting model. And I feel like Peak Monsters is doing it obviously on a much smaller scale as like a side asset to a small game. But at the end of the day, like this is a proof of concept that I think is really, really exciting to see. So Jerry TV, what's going on, Jerry? We've got a lot of new folks here. Welcome to the stream, Jerry TV.
Lots of new names.
I know.
But
I'm bad. My memory's terrible, but I'm good at like remembering if I've seen a name before or not. So welcome, Jerry TV. So he wanted to ask about the new reward card system, about the condition that you need to own a card to receive better rewards. Can you please elaborate? Do I need to own a legendary card to receive legend rewards cards? No. So right now, no. In the future, you won't need to own legendary cards to earn. There's just going to be different tiers of rewards, the higher leagues and divisions that you get. But so there's two ways. There's two, like for every battle you can earn DEC, and then for every like daily quest and end of season you can earn cards, potions, and DEC as well, or even packs actually. But you'll need to have and own cards in order to earn DEC from the battles, which I think is going to be huge for the bot thing. But in order to earn or win like legendary cards or epic cards, those will still be in chests, just not at the same level for each league. Ooh, this is a good one for you, Godziel. Ben's asking, any speculation on new abilities in the new rewards and Rift Watchers? Maybe a first strike ability a la MTG. I don't know what first strike and MTG is.
For a start, maybe I have one in mind previously. It's like, something like dig. Like this card can't be attacked on like a turn, like a random turn or alternate turn where it hides itself and you can't attack it, that kind of thing.
Like a on and off camouflage type of thing.
Yeah, right. Like it just hides itself and stuff like that. So it just adds a bit more like randomness to the game.
Interesting.
Like
Okay. There were some interesting ones thrown out too in the math chat. I feel like, or not math chat, but I think in the town hall, someone mentioned like a provoke, which is like a summoner ability to cause taunt to whatever your first card is.
oh, okay.
I don't know. I think it's hard to say. There's no. I have zero ideas just because I feel like, when the canvas is too blank, it's just like I have no idea what they could come up with. But I like yours. It kind of goes with the Chaos Legion or Chaos theme of adding a little more randomness.
Yeah, there's like Chaos Legion, right? To add more randomness with like scatter shot and stuff,
Yeah.
or like even random heals and stuff. Like, it'll be fun. But I think the team is so creative. They are definitely 10 times, 100 times more creative than I am. So,
You don't know that. Maybe you got all the ideas right here.
mm, it's quite interesting. Like I hope that the game will eventually move to something like where you get to choose like certain abilities to be applied on a certain
Mm.
monsters instead. That it's not really like casting a spell or using an item, but more like imagine summoners gives you active skill that gives you the ability to cast on a particular monster instead of just applying to all. I think that would be pretty fun. Yeah, and yeah, it adds another dimension to the game as well.
Your thing there just inspired a thought in my head where if it's triggering different things, what if there was a neutral card that has like basic abilities or whatever from like a fighting standpoint, whatever, but maybe has like so their attack, their HP and all that and speed, none of that changes. But based on the splinter they play with, they have a different ability that gets unlocked.
Ooh,
Right?
wow,
So
that's
now they have
interesting.
like potential abilities where yeah, it's just like if you play them with death, then they get this ability to go along with their basic stats. If you're playing with life,
Mm-hmm.
they get this ability, right? Like
Yeah,
that could be
wow, that
so
would be such a
that
that's like
that have to be
a
a legendary card, I feel like.
it's like a joker, it's like having
Joker,
a
yeah,
joker,
yeah.
right? Yeah, like a trump card, like a joker that change things. Yeah.
Because
How about a
that
summoner? How about a summoner that prevents your opponents from playing neutral cards? That'll be fun.
oh well, the thing
No
is
neutral.
that'd be cool, but I feel like that because you pick your teams at the same time technically. So all of
Yeah,
a
and then
sudden, like
immediately all the neutral cards get like blocked or banned. You're like, oh
that would
no.
be that would be so OP. Oh my gosh, that would be so OP. Imagine like somebody who does like 5 neutral cards and they come in and there's just like
Yeah.
one small one small card. Um oh man, that'd be funny. All right, so let's see. Buddha randomness. Jerry, you are welcome. So someone mentioned a poison defense, as in if someone strikes a monster, there's a 50-50 chance to get poisoned. I remember that too. That sounds interesting, like reverse poison. Reverse Waka. Does Waka have like an arch nemesis in real life? Because then we could just like make a card based off of that. I hope they use
No
the
idea.
ability. I made one of my PT posts, Scarp. It's like scavenge for armor. Oh, scrap. Okay, sorry. Should have read the comment below. Scrap. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's
It would
cool.
be handy in rule sets where everybody gets 2 armor.
Like replenish your own armor, right? That's cool. I think that's
Yeah.
cool. That's really cool.
So Brandon is saying first strike in SL could be if the damage kills the defending monster, then any reflect damage does not take place. Oh, I do remember this from Magic the Gathering. Wow. That's cool. Wow, that just took me back like a long time. That could actually be very interesting. First strike, but only if it kills the monster. So if it kills the monster, then you don't take any of that damage back. I like it actually. That's creative. So I hope they use the ability. I mean, okay. What about the focus ability where your team or monster ignores any taunts? That could be interesting. That would be I feel like that would be a monster ability rather than a summoner ability, because as a summoner ability that might be too powerful. But as an individual monster, right? Like you could have an opportunity or a sneak monster that ignores taunt, right? So it would have like opportunity and focus.
Yeah, but I think this is countering a counter, right? That seldom happened or hasn't happened in Splinterlands yet, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. But it wouldn't be that strong, to be honest. But yep.
From a summoner standpoint, yeah, maybe. You even designed a card with scrap, repair, and void armor. Oh, void armor would be very powerful if you had scrap. I love the idea of choose your own path for abilities, unique NFTs on the next level. For sure, like urban rivals. All right, so we'll do absorb magic. Any magic attack will be plus to health. Well, how does the opponent do damage then? Eventually, you just kill them.
Wow.
So Will of D is saying absorb magic. Okay. Ola, what if we have the ability to stake SPS to unlock an ability for a card? That would also be interesting. I love Ola. I love that you are like totally on this like let's stake SPS for everything idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to give SPS as much utility as possible. So
yeah,
that would be. It'd be interesting. Like imagine if you could level up a card just by staking SPS on it.
Yep.
So therefore, you didn't actually have to go and buy the card, but you could just stake it, use it for like a tournament, use or whatever. Like let's say you own a level 1 Jotun, for example, right? But if you choose to stake X amount of SPS on it, you could play it as like a level 3 Jotun. Would that devalue cards though? I think it would.
Yeah, you just take value away from cards and put it into SPS, which doesn't help much in totality.
Yeah,
but
I don't like my idea. Ola, your idea was a little bit different about like unlocking an ability. That could be interesting, but yeah, I feel like it's a little too small. Sorry, Godzilla, you were saying?
Like I was hoping like maybe an ability that is like a time bomb, like this monster just auto dies in like 3 turns if it doesn't last above 3 turns. So it has like higher maybe damage, higher health, higher stats, but it just dies in 3 turns if it doesn't pass 3 turns or something like that. Like, like a self-destruct after 3 turns kind of thing.
I was just thinking self-destruct, but what if it's self-destruct with friendly fire splash damage? So what if you have a monster that's actually OP? Well, think about it. If you have a monster that's OP, but it's just like when he dies, he does like 2 damage to the monsters next to him. So it's just like you got to know when to use him appropriately, or maybe you use him like in only games where you play like one monster. I don't know. I like that. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Godzilla coming with all the ideas here. You're gonna need to join Matt in the back room there.
Sure.
Get all these abilities out for Rift Watchers. So Yuki saying, what about skill that attacks every single monster in the field at the same time, except camouflage monsters?
Wow. Scatter attack.
That would okay, Yuki. If that card ever came in, that would be way better than Jotun.
It's like
that's like perfect. Bomb. Yeah, that's like perfect blast. It's just like let's hit everybody.
Nuclear strike. Yes.
Nuclear strike. All right. So Jerry's saying OP ability for me is like monster or summoner that gives equalizer or double strike. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, equalizer would be huge. Just imagine like those low mana games. You just play like a bunch of the little fairies, and then just everybody gets like a ton. Yeah.
I want more like active stuff. Like imagine you have a summoner with the ability where you get to swap the position of
Mhm.
2 of your opponent monsters this game. That'll be so fun, right? Like
That could be interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Felix is saying -1 speed each time the monster attacks an opponent. Okay. So Fierce Chicken is
Wow.
saying drain aura ability that removes 1 speed to monster that attacks. Though they also get the speed back if they get damaged. Interesting. Okay. There's a lot of really cool ideas here, guys. I wish we should just go and create our own game at this point.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of like possible, even like inspire. Maybe if you position like a lot of, I think that there should be abilities that um work upon positioning of cards. So like player beside this card gets +1 damage. Player beside this card gets 2 armor. So it makes the game that you have to think how you position your cards and how to maximize these abilities rather than inspire all monsters get +1 melee. It's more like it makes the game, you have to think a lot more in terms of positioning your deck so that to maximize the abilities, like position it, play cards beside this gets immunity as well or something like that.
Yeah.
So that would make the game, maybe 2 minutes will be too little then.
Yeah, I mean, you'll just be overthinking what does my opponent have? What's he gonna play based on the rule set? But that's where the fun of the game lies, right? So trying to outthink, out move your opponent.
Yeah.
All right. So what the monster only self destructs if it doesn't get a kill within 3 turns. What if that's like it'd be like Hunt or something? Like if it doesn't kill within 3 turns, it dies.
Yeah.
All right, so Fierce Chicken or Ola saying we need hype and utility for SPS. I mean, I agree. I don't know about hype, but we definitely need utility for SPS. I think hype comes and goes, but utility, as long as it's ongoing utility, will be a long term price mover for SPS. So Fierce Chicken is saying sturdy monster can't be killed in 1 hit. Like on the first hit, will always have 1 HP if it takes lethal damage from full health. That's interesting. That's going to get very specific though. And with all these big monsters coming out, I don't know. That's an interesting one. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. So Alex saying summoner that gives all magic monsters. Hey, what's going on, Alex? Magic monsters dodge. Okay. Or phase. Yep. Well, we're thinking that could potentially even be the life legendary summoner. Who knows? So Endeavor, Fierce Chicken, you've really thought through all these. You got names and everything for them. Endeavor gets double damage if it has 1 HP. Always hit first regardless. So you're pulling Pokemon abilities. Okay. I was like, these are very well thought through. How about being able to damage a summoner? Like when a monster dies, summoner loses HP. When the summoner dies, the buff debuff. I don't know. I think summoners are probably never going to be touched. Because then essentially they're just monsters if they have HP. And I think the whole point is that like you're supposed to be the summoner. So who wants to take damage from like a little exploding
Becomes
rats?
like a stone, right? Like
Yeah.
you attack the main character until he dies.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, lots of really cool ideas here. All right, so we're coming up on an hour and a half, Godzilla. I think I'm actually going to wrap up soon.
Yep, sure.
How are you feeling?
Okay, I
Any other?
lasted an hour and a half. Pretty cool.
I know. You sound great, man. Any closing or final thoughts? Maybe what you're excited about as we look forward to the next 4 months here or so.
Yeah, maybe the last item we can just chat, I think, is modern versus WoW.
Oh yeah,
Like
there's so much.
yeah,
We didn't even
modern
talk
versus
about that.
WoW. Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
take it.
yeah, I think like it's probably gonna come in April, and April is gonna be a big month where things get a lot of changes, players come and go, and I think they said that probably the power requirement for modern is gonna be like half, and I'm pretty surprised by that because with that being said, like I have about 300 1000 CP right now, which helps me to get into diamond. And with that, it means that I can be in champion if I'm going to play modern, just modern. So I think it will push lots of people into considering picking up Chaos Legion cards to start building CP and power up their decks. To take baby steps, like players need to take baby steps before they start committing to big purchases in a card game like that, I feel. So the power requirement is going to be low because we are so used to this 300, 200k power, 100k.
Yeah.
So I think half will make us feel that, wow, now you're getting a good deal, right? So I think it's a good start for the future. But that being said, they could probably cut the power of future cuts into half again as well to manage the requirements.
Yeah.
So uh, I'm looking forward to be competing in modern. But they said that the rewards are going to be distributed into two separate pools
Yeah.
for modern and WoW. So uh, I think we'll have to reach that point to see which is more profitable for your own deck and the level of cards that you have. Uh, but I think modern will be the really popular one where most of the players will be hanging out. And just want to share that right now the game is like following what they call the poison distribution, where most of your players are like 90% in bronze and low silver, where a healthy uh, ecosystem would show that it follows maybe more of like a standard normal distribution where you have the hum, where the middle of the hum where players are be in silver and gold. And that would show that most of the players in the ecosystem own cards and are playing regularly in silver and gold with
Mm-hmm.
a lower portion, a smaller portion in champion and a small portion in bronze. Whereas now we are really very skewed towards just bronze and low silver.
Yeah.
That's why the big changes are coming, especially as well as modern as WoW. So I think Fader Glory just said that more players would mean less payout in modern. Yes, that is true. That's very true. So it depends. It is a balance of number of players in that in that format. At the same
Mm-hmm.
time, how high you can go. So, for example, in modern, maybe I can play at diamond one, and I maybe I get 10 DEC per game because there's so many people. But if I were to move to WoW, I might be gold three because my cards can only bring me to gold three, and I still get 10 DEC. So I may be in a lower league in WoW, but I get the same rewards as a diamond one in modern. So you see
That's a good
how
way to look at it. Yeah.
yeah, it depends on how high you can climb in uh each kind of format,
Mm-hmm.
and you see which is more beneficial for yourself. So yeah, I think every player has to test it out on your own, have fun, experiment with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then see which one you enjoy. I think that if you look at the game and keep thinking about how do I earn, it gets boring after a while because you get defeated feeling you're not earning enough. You'll never feel satisfied with the earnings, to be honest, right? So, but if you think of it as enjoying the game, playing with new people, trying to level up your decks, playing at a higher league, then you probably enjoy the game a bit more than others.
I agree with that. I mean, I think people as we go further into like this bear marketish zone, I think it's great that the people who are still playing are the ones who enjoy it for the game aspect, right?
Mhm.
Um, I love the breakdown though that you gave of modern and wild and how potentially earning the same, even though you'll be in different leagues, will probably be kind of incentivized. Now, the thing is, what's great is that would mean that a lot of like the top players, like players who have like gold foil alpha decks,
Mhm.
they're going to be more incentivized to play in wild, which kind of clears a pathway for those of us that want to play in modern, right? So it's not just
Yep.
going to be stacked with all of the top players because for them, the incentive for them is to actually stay in wild where they earn a lot more and they have the cards to compete there. So I think that makes it better for I think it makes it better for the entire economy, right? Like they're earning
Yep.
more playing in a more competitive league, and we are earning more playing in a league that we can be competitive in, right? And against cards and decks that we have access to ourselves.
Yeah, there's a bit of a segregation and funneling of the different types of players, but this is so that the new players don't feel too defeated facing the older cards or the stronger cards. So
Yeah, which definitely
I
happens now.
think I think there will be a root, like a shock to most players when it really happens, to be honest, because everyone is so used to just using all the cards they have, and
Hmm.
everything. Just use whatever you want. And I think it will be a big shock. Example, when Elric got taken off from the starter deck, actually the impact is way bigger than anyone expected because
Hmm.
no one really thinks about it before it got taken off. And
Yeah.
uh, meta will change for sure. Things will be, maybe if now you're like, taking grinding hard to climb to goal 2, goal 3, then when it begins, it's like, it's not that difficult anymore.
Yeah.
So things may change, but untamed cards may become critical, and it could push card prices of untamed cards up if it becomes super necessary for modern. Things could change.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen to untamed card prices there, but it's definitely something to think about. I mean, I've been looking at untamed cards because the way I see it, modern format as it stands right now, yes, I'll be more competitive, but at the end of the day, the people who are going to dominate
Mhm.
the modern league are going to be the ones that have leveled up untamed cards, right? So in the same way,
Mhm.
right now, the higher up you get in certain leagues, all of a sudden I'm getting spammed with alpha and beta OP cards.
Yep.
That's just going to switch over to untamed, and I don't, I think you have a point that could potentially raise the prices of untamed cards, but also it's just even if it doesn't, you're still going to be facing the people that were here in the game a year or 18 months ago and stocked up on untamed cards, right? Which to me, like this is why it's like super important for me as a long-term player to make sure that I max out Chaos Legion as quickly as possible because at some point Untamed and Dice are going to rotate out, right? So
Yep.
whenever the next major expansion comes, if that's a year from now or 18 months from now, Rebellion, then at that point, with all the new players, hopefully that'll be entering the game, we are all going to be the ones that have like maxed out Chaos Legion decks, and they're coming in
Yep.
and they're buying Rebellion packs, trying to max out. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
you just have to
there will
think
be a
about it kind of
cycle.
growing, yeah, exponentially from there and the cycle. So,
Mm.
um,
You just can't have every single card, even though I would like to have it, but we just got to
yeah,
learn to cope with what we have, right, and make the
yeah.
best out of it.
That's how I cope with Waka. That was like literally my decision. And I think even talking to you, I was just like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm okay like living without Yoden, so I think I'm gonna be okay living without Waka. So
Yeah, I don't have Yodin as well, so I'm living fine, still fine.
yeah,
Just get jealous sometimes and envious, but
yeah.
it's okay.
But then it's like it's just that little more satisfying when you can beat a Yoden. And you're like
Definitely, yeah, definitely. But
Yoden or Llama.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
So all right, guys. Well, this was a ton of fun. Godzilla, you got
yep.
anything else?
It's been
I think we're just
nope.
gonna hop off here.
Yes, sure. Yep. Thanks,
Uh,
everybody.
yeah. Oh, Marlon just came on. Marlon, we're just saying bye. Awful timing. All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry. I have to run, which is why I don't mean to be abrupt, but Godzilla, I appreciate you coming back on, man. I am so glad to see you doing better, to hear your voice again.
Yep.
Yeah, it's getting the Rona is no fun thing, I'm sure. So, all right, guys.
Yeah. Stay
Catch you
safe,
all
guys.
on the next stream. I'll be live probably on Sunday, and then Godzilla, I don't know, man. You're welcome back anytime, or if you want to chat about something specific in video format, just let me know, and we'll go from there.
Yep, sure. Yeah, I miss you guys. So thanks for having me here after sound. And guys, stay safe. Uh, accumulate more SPS all this time.
Hmm.
Yep. Keep playing and
Just keep
see
stacking
you
that
next time.
SPS.
Yeah. Keep stacking.
All right, guys. I'll be back on Sunday morning, so I'll catch you all then. And then, yeah, guys, make sure you know how much you miss Godzilla, so I can pressure him to come back on the stream or on the channel more. Godzilla, do you want to share your Twitter or any place where people can find you if they want to connect with you?
Oh, sure. You can follow me on Godziel_gaming on Twitter. Then I'm trying to be more active on Twitter, but it's just very unstructured. My posts are just for fun. It's like following my journey, daily stuff, just random. If just casual. I'm not gonna like plan anything or prepare posts. It's just gonna be Twitter style. Just tweet whenever I feel like it. So if you don't mind that, then just give me a follow and I'll see you there.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, you know where to go. Godziel at Godziel_gaming. All right. Okay. Have an amazing rest of your day, everyone. I will see you all very, very soon.